Okay, so I am Brenda Blanche and I am a personal branding strategist and a marketing strategist. Okay, I help you use who you are and what you know to build a brand the market understands, adopts, and pays for. When I say brand, a brand is just the perception people have of you, and people give you value based on that perception. That is how you can generate income based on how people perceive you, okay? So it's not about how good you are or what you have, it's about how people perceive you. And branding is simply perception management. So that's what I do. And I am building my brand on LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn and my WhatsApp status. I put things on my WhatsApp status daily. So you can connect with me after this. Okay, I don't want to talk too much about myself. If you want, see, just go to ChatGPT and say, who is Brenda Blanche? You're going to get all the information you want. Now, I want us to get into this. As you can see on your screen, builders get followers, leaders get believers. Okay, because I've noticed that when it comes to these tech people, these overly business people, we have the creatives and we have the business minded, the techies, and all these people. Now, the techies always think that it's just about their skills. Why the business minded people, the same thing, they think it's just about their skills. They're like, I don't need branding. What's even branding? So you're just building your business. Nobody knows about your business. Nobody knows about your business. For example, we have examples here. You guys shared what you're building or what you want to build, right? Now, who, apart from you, know about that idea? Maybe one or two friends. But with the use of your personal brand, do you know that you can be building and sharing your journey online? And by the time you launch the project, you already have people who believe and support the project. That is the use of the personal brand. It's not when you already have a ready product, it's not when you're already famous, it's not when you know too much. It is when you just want to share your journey. And this whole presentation is for you to feel the difference. I don't want you to think like a builder, I want you to think like a leader. Because when you get believers, they can pay for almost whatever thing you have to offer. So we're going to look at how you can turn your personal brand, sorry, how your personal brand turns what you're building into a movement, because people buy into movements, not into projects, not into people, they buy into movements. So you're currently building something real, or you're thinking about building something real, and the market isn't paying attention. This is for some people who are building things. Guys, let me just take Carson for example. Carson has a lot of amazing things he is building and that he's going to build in the future, but I can count the number of people who are aware of that. It does not mean that it's not real, it does not mean that it's not needed, but the market does not pay attention to it yet, or the market is not yet paying attention to it because the market does not understand it yet. And the market cannot understand something it does not see. So we have two types of people online. We have the builders, we have the leaders. So the builders that are just behind their screens every day, they build, they execute. Sometimes they may post about one or two things on their WhatsApp statuses or on Facebook, might get some followers. But then we have the leaders. These are people who consistently translate what they are building into a vision the market understands and believes in. Do you see the difference? The builders coding and going. I'm talking to all the techies here. You guys are just coding and going. You guys are just executing and going. You're like, oh God, this project is so huge. You're like, I'm so good. I'm this good. See, nobody cares about the best kept secret. You may be the best in your category, but if the world is not aware of it, it's useless. So as a builder, most of you are building followers. When you build followers, they just scroll past you. They don't buy. They're just going to support you. They're going to send in the comments, I love what you're doing. Oh, I look up to you. Those are the kind of comments you're going to get. But when you get believers, the buy, the invest, the join, the promote, they just want to shout at every rooftop that this person is onto something huge. So understand that a product without a leader is just another option. Is just another option in the market. Let me tell you something. You are not the first person to have that idea. Yes, let me break your bubbles. All these tech keys that we have here, let me break your bubbles. Your idea is not one of a kind. In fact, ideas are useless, worthless. What matters is execution. Do you know how many people have had that idea before you? So it's time for you to create a product with a leader because that's when it becomes a movement and people buy into movements. Now, we're going to look at the shift, how you can leave from a builder to a leader. Now, there is a gap between being a builder and being a leader, and it's what I call the market translation gap. So, the market translation gap. The gap between what you are building and what the market actually perceives. You know your project or your idea is important, you know the problem it actually solves, but does the market actually perceive it the way you do? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Especially for those of you who are already building, those of you who already have things out there. Do you get? The idea is so awesome to you. It's so good. Like you're basically cheering yourself on. You're like, God, this thing came out from me. But let me tell you something. The market does not see it the same way. So that gap, and in the builder's mind, they are like, this product is valuable and it solves a real problem. But what the market actually sees and hears is another builder with another product, no differentiation. Another software engineer with another software. Another aspiring entrepreneur with another idea. That's how you're being perceived. So, until you close that gap, which is the gap between what you're doing or how you see your stuff versus how the market actually perceives it, you will stay a builder forever. You will just have followers but no believers. And followers don't build movements. I'm not saying you should stop being a builder. No, you are a builder. It's your identity. You love the building phase. You're building things. I myself, I spend my time building things. But when it comes to you putting your product out there, you need to become a leader. Now, every market asks three silent questions before they believe in you. And before I get into these questions, I want you to understand that people believe in you before they believe in your product. They buy you, not your product. So personal branding is not optional, it is a must because that is what makes people believe in you. It's not about your project, okay? It's not your project is not new, please. It's not new. So get down from your high horse. It's not new. Bet on yourself, use yourself. So the market will not tell you about these questions, but these are the questions they are asking. And if you don't pay attention to these questions, your product will never leave your brain, or maybe it's going to leave your brain, you're even going to market it, but it's never going to turn out the way you expect it to. Now you're going to get caught in, okay, all the time I spent on this, the investment I spent on this, just because you do not do it the right way. So, question one, why you specifically? This is about your identity. Okay, this is about your identity. Why you specifically? That's the first question the market is asking. Your identity is not just about what you're building, but why are you the one to build it? What's your story behind it? What's your vision? What's your lens on the problem it is solving? Can you tell me? Sometimes even your problem and your lens may be the same as someone else's own, but your story is going to make it yours. And the first person who tells his or her story is the first person we're going to consider. And do you know what? Most builders don't tell their stories. So there is like zero competition on that. Question two, can you actually pull this off? This is about expertise now. For builders, expertise is the bare minimum, meaning that it's already there. You can build the product, you can deliver on it, you can deliver the service, you can actually do the job. But expertise in the market's eyes is not just about the product itself, but it's about the proof. Okay, it's not about your product working, it's not actually delivering on what it has to do. What about the insights? What about the traction? What about the repeatable processes behind what you're building? Can someone model it? Can someone actually follow it and see how it goes? And the last question, do I see you everywhere? This is about structure. Do you show up consistently? Does your message compound or do you post randomly and confuse the market? We hear about your project in January, we hear about it again in March, after we hear about it in December, after that's off. You're not consistent. And this brings me to the IES model. The IES model is the core equation of my brand. Okay? And it's the equation that is going to turn me from a builder into a leader. And it simply says identity multiplied by expertise multiplied by structure equals to market demand. So your identity is the signal. It's not just about the signal you're sending out in the market, but also the signal the market is sending to you. So it has to be coherent, meaning that what you're saying versus what the market hears has to be the same. Now, expertise, this is about proof. Are you actually qualified to do this? What proof do you have? Have you done this before? What are your credentials? Even though I don't care about credentials though, like I mostly care about the output you can produce. Structure, about recognition. What is the system? What is the system? Do you have a repeatable system? Do people see you here and there? When this comes together, you have what we call market demand. Market demand simply means that there is a place for you in the market. So section 3, the system. 3 steps to turn what you're building into a movement. Firstly, you're going to do what I call excavation. You're going to excavate your identity. Excavation is the process of digging, meaning you're just removing something that is already within you. You're not trying to create new things, no. Sorry. So identity, which is the signal, the reason the market stops scrolling and starts paying attention to you. This is going to be the reason why the market will say, no, let me go for this guy. I love this guy. It's not just about the project, it's about the person behind the project. So, step 1, identity, which is the signal. Most builders lead with the product, but leaders lead with the lens. When I say lens, it's simply your own perception of things. It is about the one belief you hold about your industry that most people won't say out loud. Why does this problem matter to you? What have you seen that others haven't? What is your unique perspective on the matter? Don't lead with the product. Most leaders build with, will lead with, here's what I built, here's what it does, but leaders do the opposite. Here's what I see that most people in the industry won't say out loud. Now that's something that captivates people. We want to lean in, we want to listen to you because it's different. That's your signal. That's what makes people think I need to pay attention to this person. Now, 2, package your expertise. This is about the proof, the reason the market trusts you, that you can actually pull this off. As I said, for builders, expertise is actually the bare minimum. So the market trusts systems, not just films. Okay, what's your repeatable? What's your repeatable method? What proof can you show, not just features? It's not just about what you built, but what changed because of what you built. What did that thing, what change did it actually cause? So builders will always say things like, we help businesses grow, our software is going to do this and that. But leaders say, we've identified 3 operational leaks that cost B2B founders this amount of money per month, and here's how we fix them. To simplify this, for those of you who are not into marketing, it's just about the specificity of the example, okay? It's just about you being specific, meaning you have the system. Because when you say we've identified 3 operational leaks, meaning, okay, you're first of all experienced, you know what you're talking about, you have a system to back it up, meaning, here's how we fix them, meaning you have a system, right? But when you just say, our software does this, it's going to help you make money, it's going to help you reduce this or that, just have boring stuff. It's about the packaging. So I want you guys to think about this. How can I package my expertise? You guys are talented, you're knowledgeable, you have so much to give, but you need wrapping, you need a proper package. Package your expertise. 3, install your structure. This is about the recognition, the reason the market remembers you and keeps coming back to you. So this is where most builders fail. Honestly, this is where most of them fail because they post when they want to launch, they go silent when they are building, like they'll be like, no, let me build this thing first and make sure everything is working. Let me not tell anybody about it. You guys are just there, you spend days, months, weeks just coding and coding and coding. The market is moving on. People are moving on with their lives. You're here building stuff that you're not even sure the market needs, you're not even sure they're going to receive it. But imagine if you're updating them while you're actually building it because you had structure. You're going to get responses, you're going to get feedback, and you're going to realize that the end product is even going to be so much more than what you imagined. So leaders have a content system. Most of you don't post about your things. You think the market will just automatically know, no, please. Most SaaS companies, software as a service, for those of us who are not versed with it. In fact, even all the fintechs and all of them, these people are high on content. I see these people every day on LinkedIn, on X social media platforms. They are posting, educating people on what their software, the problems their software solves, what the future will look like, even before launching the project. So you see, that's why we always have these people have massive launches. Have you ever noticed that? I don't know if you've ever read an example. Someone launches the product and you are amazed at how much it generated. You're like, I thought this person was doing like me. I thought we build before we start talking about it. No, that's why you need structure. So these are your 3 steps. One system, identity, which is your signal, the one belief you hold that most people in your industry won't say out loud. Why you specifically? I want you to have that. 2, expertise, your method, your repeatable process, the results, the evidence. Can you actually pull this off? Even if you're building something, what is the system? What is the process? What is the structure? Do we have something to back it up? Not just recording and going. Just no. You need to have a repeatable system. Thirdly, structure. This is about recognition. Your architecture, the consistent compounding system that makes you impossible to forget. How often do you show up in front of people's faces? You need to be unapologetic about what you're building. Force them to like it. If you want, force them to like it. Be in front of their faces so much that they will have no option than to listen to you. So I want you guys to understand that when I started building, I can say I had no skill. In fact, yes, the expertise was not there. Identity was still internal because, as I told you guys, identity is excavation, which is internal, right? It was 2 years ago. Nothing was said. But when I understood these things, when I locked in my identity, expertise, and structure, offers started coming, work started coming, recognition started coming. And that is what translation does. The market is always there, but it just needs that translated version of you. So when all these theory actually align, you stop being an option and you become the answer. People will stop asking, what does this do? What does this project do? What is it actually solving? They're going to start saying things like, I've been looking for this. That is what you should aim for. We are going to look at the bridge, how this is going to happen for you specifically. You're going to install the system, identity, expertise, and structure. As I said, identity is about your unique perspective. Expertise, package your expertise in the right format that these people are going to go for. Structure, what is your repeatable system? What repeatable system do you have? So, as we said in the beginning, builders will always get just followers, and followers don't buy, they just hype you up. But leaders will get believers. The difference is never talent, because talent is just the bare minimum. It's not even about funding, it's not even about capital, it is about translation. How can you get the market to understand what you're saying, to buy into what you're saying even before it's out there? Okay, so I just have three tasks for you to do. Firstly, identity. What is your signal? What is that unique perspective? Expertise. How can you package what you know? Structure. What system can you come up with? So the market is waiting for you to become readable. The movement is waiting for you to lead. It's time for you to go out and do something, okay? So thank you guys so much. This is the end of my presentation. And I can take few questions, okay? I don't know if you guys have questions, but I'm all ears.
All right, before we continue with questions, I want to take this moment to thank Brenda so much for the wonderful presentation. And there are just a few things I want to highlight here. Please type your questions in the question box. So as I'm speaking, Brenda can then be going through the questions and start answering them. I first want to thank Brenda so much for this opportunity. She showed up so massively, even with all the obstacles that she was facing. And she actually did show up. So some of the points I want to highlight here is just the fact that they are shifting you guys from a builder's mentality to a leader's mentality, which is something very awesome that most of you have to think about. Because once you start building something, you are going to have people who are looking up to you as per what you're building in that particular light. So she actually brought the builder and the leader aspect of it, which is actually a great part of her presentation. So please, you guys put your questions in the message box so she can respond to a few questions before we close for the day. So we are waiting for your questions, please. Let's make it fast so we don't waste so much time. The session is being recorded, and the more time we waste, the more we keep recording something that will just be trash on YouTube and taking more space. Thank you.
All right, so I can see only one question here. I don't know if other questions are coming up, but I'm going to answer this one. So Eric says, but how do you maintain your market or clients? Though I'm not versed with all these, but I am ready to learn. Okay, now I don't want you to see them as markets or clients. First of all, see them as believers. Okay, you as a Christian, you're a believer, right? What do you believe in? Or who do you believe in? Is there someone specific that makes you believe? Is there proof? Okay, when you read the Bible, you have a lot of proof, right? So you believe. Now, bringing it to your brand, you have to share your journey. You have to start from where you are. Let me give you a four simple step process. This is what I call the four-step branding system, okay? Step one, identity excavation. Your story, your values, your perspectives. Do you know that people follow or bond with people that they have shared values and perspectives with? Now, when I say your story, you might be confused. Firstly, we have your origin story. Okay, what made you build what you're building? Why? What problem are you actually solving? Do you know that just writing a post about that is going to make a lot of people to relate to that and connect with you? Step two, market alignment. Now, this is when you get clear on who you're actually talking to. Because not everybody is your target audience. If you have a product, for example, who is the specific target audience for that product? Nail that person down. Know who they are. Know their frustrations. Know their fears. Study them detailing. Step three is what I call content as expression. Now, this is how you consistently communicate with these people through content. Maybe asking, what do I write about? Let me just start with something simple. If you have a product, you know the product is solving a problem for your audience. Now, that one problem can be broken down into different problems, sub problems that you can make a post about it. Make a post about how your product solves this problem particularly. You can make another post on the behind the scenes building your project. Maybe you had an inconvenience, maybe something happened, just narrate the story. Those are content ideas, right? Now, the last stage is what I call monetization. Now, this is how all these things actually get to revenue. How does your product or your project or whatever you're building, how is it monetizable to you? This is only possible when you're clear on the problem it actually solves, who you're talking about, and you're consistently talking to these people through content. When I say consistently, it doesn't mean every day. You can do like 4 times a week. Well, I'm talking for LinkedIn specifically, 4 times a week. Okay. When you consistently show up in these people's faces, trust me, they're always going to be there waiting for you. Especially when they know that each time this person comes, he's solving the problem. He's narrating his story. I just feel like this guy has something. Okay. So Eric, that's where you can start from. Mercy says, how do you gain more clarity in the case where you feel a lot of businesses you are versed with, but then none of them is being pushed ahead out there, and you now feel stuck even with the clear story? Okay, Mercy, please, I'm going to reiterate the question and you tell me if I got it right. So, do you mean like you have so many businesses, but you don't know which one to go with specifically? Like, how do you get clear on which one to go with? Because you keep feeling stuck. Okay, she said yes. All right. In a scenario where you have so many things, right? So many things that you don't know which one to go with. Firstly, ask yourself which of them would you still love to be doing in the next 10 years? Which of them will you still love to be doing in the next 10 years? That's the first one. And you're going to notice that you're already going to start seeking out some options. No, I don't see myself doing this in the next 10 years. I don't see myself doing this in the next 10 years. That's about the identity. Secondly, expertise. Which of them do you actually have the expertise needed to deliver on it? Or are you actually willing to learn the necessary skills needed for that business? You're going to notice that some options are going to be going, some options are going to be going. And the next one is about structure. Can you build a system around that? Is it really something that you would love to sit down and break down and build systems and all these stuff? Okay, Mercy. That is how you can actually go about this. You're welcome. Nadine says, how do I brand or document both my talents and tech career? I'm asking because I'm wondering what to start creating content on. Also, I don't want to have two different identities across different platforms. Okay, Nadine, please, can you just type in what this your talent is? So let me see how I can give you a more specific answer. So while she's doing that, I'm going to move on to the next question. Temsac says, what if you start communicating about the project you want to do and you end up not doing it? Okay, that's a good one. Now, one thing is also that the market kind of forgets, they forget fast. They forget fast, even though it's not really good for your branding, but another way to go about it is if you're building your communicate, say, you cannot continue with this project, narrate the story. Just make a post about it. If you've been posting, like you've been bringing these people along the journey, narrate a clear story. What happened? Why you're stopping this and that, difficulties, this and that. You're going to see that people are going to provide solutions. They're going to understand, and you can end there peacefully. Do you get? See, there's a time I announced on LinkedIn that I was starting was kind of an AI agency. I did not go through with it because I had a different clarity at a different point of time. I just felt like, nah, I should take this direction. And I was honest about it. I was honest about it. So that's just it. Okay, Temfact says, should you be discouraged if you want to bring a product to the market that already exists? No, because let me tell you something. There are already products out there a lot, the same product. Now, the only thing you need to ask yourself is there a difference? It don't have to be the same to the T. For example, so many people are removing project management system. We have a lot of project management systems, school-based management system, this and that, this and that. We've heard a whole lot of them, but people keep bringing them. People keep bringing them. Look at Uber, for example. Uber, who is in like the European countries, like in our country here we have Yango. Yango is by a different company. It's the same thing now. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Now you can adapt it to your own market. You can make it okay, maybe specific for Cameroonians, maybe specific for these people, and your origin story, like the reason why you're creating this app, is what is going to make it differentiated. Okay, so don't be discouraged. Put it out there regardless. Faith says, when things don't go as planned, expected, what can I do to stay consistent? I find it difficult to try. Okay, excuse. All right, Faith. I've been in your shoes. In fact, even till now, there are days where I wear your shoes, kind of. Let me tell you a little thing. Just last year, December, my LinkedIn account got restricted, and LinkedIn is the only place where I am currently building. Can you imagine the shock? January, my phone got bad. I had no means to fix it. And when you stay off of LinkedIn, for you to get back on LinkedIn is so difficult. So I was in this place. I was discouraged. I just felt stuck. I had to sit down and really reflect, ask myself that why am I actually building this? What is the deeper reason? See, when you have a reason strong enough, it's not about making money, fame, or whatever. No. You need to go down, ask yourself, go to like, you have to go in 5 layers deep. Ask yourself, Faith, why am I building this? The first answer you get, maybe because you want it to generate revenue or whatsoever. Go down again. Why do I actually want this money? What will this money do for me? Go down until you get that reason that is going to make you to wake up from your bed no matter what. See, there are days where I just drop myself, I want to sleep, but no. That reason, paste it somewhere on your wall. Okay, so you just need to find that reason. Okay, Nadine says spoken word, acting, and motivational speaking. Tech, software engineering student. Okay, now let me tell you something. I have an exchange in software engineering, so I probably understand it. Now, the first question I'm going to ask you is, are you doing software engineering because you want to do it or because it's popular out of necessity? You have to be honest with yourself. Do you feel like it's just a nice career to go into, or is it actually what you want to do with your life, what you want to be known for? Because for me, it wasn't. And I was honest about it right from the start. That's where you need to start from. Now, in a scenario where it is what you really want to do, now you're passionate about software engineering, you're going to understand that your passion is actually spoken words, acting and motivational speaking. That is what you love doing. That is what you're going to spend more time on rather than sitting behind the machine, coding stuff or whatsoever. Okay, you then, I'm not here to discourage you or your people, okay? I just want to be honest with some of these people. So this software engineering that you're doing, right? You need to be honest, honest. Now, let me just say that maybe you love both. You just love the software engineering and you still love the spoken. Now, you can build your brand as a motivational speaker who is in software engineering, who is a software engineer. A motivational speaker who is like you are a creative who is a techie. Do you understand? It's not about it having a dual identity. Like life as a motivational speaker, like I speak during the day, I code during the evening. There is a way these things combine. It's not like they are two separate identities. Ask yourself, why am I into this software engineering? What actually brings me to it? Is it about the processes? Is it about building ideas to life? Is it about just turning this code into something beautiful? And what about the motivational speaking? What about the spoken words? It's about turning words into something beautiful people can understand. You're going to realize that at the end of the day, you're still turning ideas into something beautiful that people want to receive. Do you get? So the core beneath it is still the same. It's still the same reason why you might want to be doing both. And that is what you should lead with. Don't try to picture yourself as a software engineer or as a spoken word artist. No. You can go with both. Okay. Okay, Patience says, thank you so much. You're so much welcome. I have a question. How can someone effectively communicate a project when they do not have a personal story behind the project, but they are deeply passionate about it? Patience, can you give me an example? I feel like this question is personal. Because if you're saying that you don't have a story, you're just passionate about it, I can understand because I have this project that I'm working on. I'm not the person behind the idea, but I wanted to work on the project because I just loved the idea. Do you know why I loved the idea? Because I love building things. That's a story. I love building things. It's still a story because it's showing my creative side. It's an identity, who I am. You can live with that. You can live with that. The feeling, the emotion, what do you feel with respect to this project? You're passionate about it. What actually fuels this passion with regards to you? What is it exactly about the project? Get to the root of that question, and you're going to have a story from it. You're welcome, Temfad. Elijah says, at what point in building should a founder start showing up publicly before the product is ready or after you have something to show? No. In fact, you start showing up even before you become a builder. Let me tell you something. You are in school. We have two types of people. We have the curator and we have the expert. Carson is an expert per se. Like he already has built stuff, he has experience, so he can be writing posts about how he built things, how he's running his company. But you who is in school, you're a curator, and a curator simply narrates. For example, you're sharing what you're learning, you're sharing your journey, your process. I learned that. This is how this shaped this. I read this from this book. You're just giving your interpretations of what you are learning. That's where you start from. And the more you learn things, the more you solve problems, the more you start building your own experience bank. And from your experience bank, you can now start teaching people, okay, based on my experience, I've seen this pattern. This is how you can avoid this. Now you're teaching people 2 to 3 steps behind you how to avoid certain things and how to go about certain things. So it's not about when the product is ready, nobody will care about your product. Let me just tell you. It's not about when you have something to show because everybody has something to show. Everybody has something to offer. The problem here is, are you willing to look stupid doing it? Because people are just scared to look stupid. That's just the truth about it. Okay. So it's not about before or when, just go about it. Faith, you're so much welcome. Nadine, you're so much welcome. All right. So I think I've responded to everybody. Yeah, I responded to everybody.
All right, Brenda, thank you so much for today's presentation. But before we go, please, I want massive reactions. Massive. It is not massive yet, though. Let it be massive. All these people like this that are in this life, you are not reacting to anything. God is watching you.